Which of those four is it when you talk to him about murdering Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one of them. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I said it about both because he got Tupac killed.
In case you missed it, the press reported, a former LAPD officer claims Diddy had Tupac dealt with for $1 million and that Suge retaliated by having Biggie dealt with. After 15 years of getting away with it, Diddy hired Keffe D to get Tupac. When the authorities eventually apprehended Keffe D, he confessed to being the primary offender during an interrogation.
All four of those occasions are San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those four is it when you talk to him about murdering Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one of them. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
According to a story, Diddy faces questions about his alleged role in Tupac's murder after being mentioned 77 times in a new legal filing as Keffe D, the hired hitman of the crime, said everything was Diddy's wish. Throughout the trial, Diddy was asked about his involvement. He continued by saying that the reason it happened so fast was because Tupac was grabbing for his gun when he passed away.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually?
No, once you got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
That's what I
started at Tupac and Suge.
The courtroom became emotional because Tupac already knew what was going to happen to him. Even 50 Cent responded, stating that he doesn't like Diddy because he had Tupac gone, and this would soon make headlines.
I hate when they leave me to talk because I always say the wrong thing. I was like, last time they left me, I said something about Puffy. You saw that? You saw that clip? Yeah! I gotta stop doing that kind of shit. I've been talking to a therapist. He's trying to help me with the shit I'm saying. I said crazy shit. No reason. Oh wait, maybe I said it about Puffy because he got Tupac killed.
This would be followed by incidents when people questioned Diddy about being responsible for Tupac, such as this humiliating morning clip interview.
The documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
However, cops believe Diddy did not act alone, which is far more alarming, in case you missed it. According to a rumor, new updates are happening in Tupac Shakur's murder case. Rappers in the industry, from Snoop Dogg to Suge Knight and Diddy, are about to be arrested and questioned. This interview is what initially leads the feds to suspect Snoop's involvement.
You were with Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac, I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
According to Snoop, he was supposed to be in the BMW, but he decided not to go because of last-minute changes. Suge and Snoop's altercation with Tupac a few days prior was most likely the reason for
the last time me and Tupac was on the same page. And I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie. And I told her that I like their music and I want to do music with them. Bro didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to, prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
The cops are suspicious because all of this happened within 72 hours after Tupac's murder. Many speculate that Snoop Dogg, who was extensively tapped into the streets 20 years ago, may have been tipped off that Tupac would be the target that evening and decided not to get in the car. Then the feds found another conversation where Snoop says he felt Tupac was disliked 2 days before Tupac died.
Say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like it. I want to do some music with him. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to kill me, out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with this. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all of us hanging out.
However, the physical evidence in the Diddy trial chilled the jury when Keffi D explained how Tupac was taken out at Diddy's request because on September 7th, 1996, he and Suge Knight were in Vegas watching a Mike Tyson battle when they got into a dispute with their ops.
Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson, the MGM Grand. Keffi D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and 2 of their friends were also there. Keffi D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Tupac and Suge were arrested in the middle of the road while en route to a club to celebrate after security broke up the altercation, and they walked to their hotel to dress for
about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keffi D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thighs.
But after 20 years of the feds looking for the culprit, the police investigated an interview with Keffi D that suggested he was responsible for Tupac's arrest.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. He was gonna go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
A Keffi Day interrogation with police from the evening of the incident was also.
You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
in the back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him throwing Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando started across Dre.
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window.
While conducting their investigation, the authorities learned of Keffi D's reaction to Tupac's death.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. Cause it took a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate that happen. Probably to God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. It never happened, dude.
However, given the holes in the story that make many people wonder if Tupac is still alive, this is where things start to get weird. Tupac was an industry plant whose mission it was to stop the red and blue street teams. According to a recent...
it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be or to appeal to and politicized them, and he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda they came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Tupac Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
The plot didn't work out, and he died suddenly. But it makes sense that Snoop Dogg didn't want to be near him in Las Vegas that night. If he had known that Tupac was a plant for the industry, he would have wanted to avoid him. However, rapper Trey was caught saying that Tupac was in Cuba, which led to an odd revelation in a subsequent interview with a close friend of
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question. Nobody knows. Y'all good? Yeah, we good. We good. Thanks a lot, man. We good. Last time I saw him, he was in church.
3 weeks later, a video of Tupac lounging in a parking lot in Cuba was released to the world.
That's Pac, man. He went to outlaw and Reg from Holla Back. He's trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
The Tupac is alive in Cuba theory was born out of this, but many people no longer consider it to be a theory. Despite acknowledging Tupac's existence on multiple occasions over the years, Suge Knight states, quote, "I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac were laughing and joking, so I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing..."
When I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I would say that Pac, you never...
However, since Tupac was allegedly in a coma during his hospital stay, Shook's account doesn't add up. If Tupac wasn't conscious, how could they have been joking and laughing together? According to Suge Knight's 2008 interview, Tupac was alive, conscious, and doing well.
He was conscious on the way to the hospital.
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
The oddest part is that a few weeks after Suge said this about Tupac's survival, a man pointed a gun at him several times, almost killing him. Since then, Knight has taken care to keep quiet, understanding that doing so would put him in jeopardy. But in 2018, Suge's son, Shu Jr., would make the same mistake. Knight's son revealed on Instagram that Tupac was still alive and living in Malaysia. Posted another image of a conversation shortly after, writing, "You said too much time for you to go." Shu Jr. persisted in posting though, including multiple pictures of Tupac with modern-day celebs like 50 Cent and Beyonce, creating the appearance that he was being pursued. "He never left us, but they'll be there," he wrote as the caption for the Beyonce picture, "right after me." Some believe it was all a publicity stunt to gain Suge Knight's son more power, while others believe Suge Jr. would know more about this case than anybody else in the world because his father was at the scene.